suspicious, so he cautiously extended his hand to probe. To others, it's just a spoon. To him, it's the key to escape. First, he rubbed the spoon vigorously against his heel. Then, he asked the guard to exchange it for a clean one. Meanwhile, his teammate distracted the guard. On the surface, he only grabbed one spoon, but in reality, it was two. Back in his cell, he first got a coin, then bundled up some matches, making a simple makeshift stove. Next, he forcefully broke the spoon in half. Then, using a nail file, ground the coin into powder. The aluminum powder obtained was evenly applied to the spoon and nail file joint. Finally, he lit the matchstick, fusing the two parts perfectly. Thus, a simple escape tool was created. To test its effectiveness, Jack moved the suitcase aside and began chiseling the vent little by little. Sure enough, the efficiency improved greatly. Just like that, Jack worked hard chiseling every night. During the day, taking breaks, he secretly disposed of the leftovers from his pockets. Before long, the vent was large enough to crawl through, but a new challenge arose. The wire mesh was welded to the iron pillars, making it impossible to remove. So, during work hours, he secretly took an iron wedge. But as he passed the security check, the alarm suddenly came to mind. Jack calmly handed the wedge to the guard, saying he'd use it to hang clothes in his cell. Faced with such a bizarre request, the kind guard instantly refused. But when Jack returned to the room and twisted his shoe heel, there was another iron wedge hidden inside. It turned out he was diverting attention earlier. He inserted the iron wedge into the wire mesh, then kicked it off successfully in one go. Next, he wet the used newspaper with water, molded it into the shape of a vent, and painted it to match the wall color, disguising it as a fake vent. Afterward, Jack followed the same method to make a fake head, painted it to look incredibly realistic, placed the head on the bed and covered it with a blanket, making it appear as if someone was sound asleep. Then he removed the wire mesh and crawled into the vent through the pre-dug hole. To avoid being spotted by the guards, he restored the wire mesh to its original state. At the back of the prison was a narrow ventilation duct. Jack climbed up along the metal pipe. At that moment, a patrolling guard suddenly glanced at the head on the bed. Luckily, he didn't notice anything unusual. Meanwhile, Jack had already climbed to the rooftop through the duct. To his surprise, even after reaching the roof, there was no way out. The only exit was a burglar-proof mesh over 3 meters above the ground. It was impossible for Jack to reach given his height. At this point, the patrolling guard returned the same way. Seeing Jack still sound asleep, he started chatting with a prisoner painting in the next cell. During their conversation, the guard accidentally dropped his baton. When he bent down to pick it up, he noticed Jack still hadn't moved at all. The guard grew suspicious, so he cautiously extended his hand to probe.